Drinking water right after waking up can boost your organs, protect your heart, and wake your body up the right way. And it costs nothing, takes 30 seconds, and most seniors still aren't doing it. Here's what's happening inside your body every single morning before you've done anything at all. You just spent 6 to 8 hours without a single drop of fluid. No water, no food, nothing. Your body has been working through that entire time, breathing, circulating blood, regulating temperature, repairing tissue, processing the day, and every one of those processes uses water. By the time you open your eyes, you are already running a deficit. Your blood is thicker and more viscous than it should be, which makes the heart work harder to push it through your vessels. Your organs are slower to respond. Your brain, which is roughly 75% water, is operating below its optimal hydration level. Your kidneys, which have been filtering waste through the night, are ready to flush, but they need fluid to do it. And most seniors wake up, reach for coffee, and skip the one thing that would fix all this immediately, completely, and for free. Just water. First thing, and here's exactly what it does. The most immediate benefit is the most obvious one, but it's worth understanding clearly rather than just nodding past. Rehydration after sleep is not a luxury. It's a restoration of the baseline your body needs to function properly. Every system in your body runs on water. It is a medium in which every chemical reaction in your biology takes place, the substance in which nutrients are dissolved and transported, the fluid that cushions your joints and protects your spinal cord and regulates your internal temperature. When you've been without it for 8 hours, everything is running slightly below capacity. Restoring the hydration first thing in the morning, before coffee, before food, before anything else, brings your organs back to their operating baseline faster than anything else you could do in those first minutes of the day. The fatigue that feels like it needs caffeine to fix is often not tiredness at all. It's thirst wearing the wrong label. Your body isn't tired. It's thirsty. And the difference between those two things matters, because one is fixed by rest you've already had, and the other is fixed by a glass of water you haven't had yet. The kidneys benefit from morning hydration in a specific and significant way, particularly for seniors whose kidney function has naturally become less efficient with age. Through the night, the kidneys have been filtering waste products from the blood, urea, creatinine, excess minerals, concentrating them into urine while conserving as much fluid as possible in a state of mild dehydration. When you wake up and drink water, you give the kidneys the fluid they need to complete that flushing process properly, diluting concentrated urine and moving waste out of the body efficiently. This daily flushing is one of the most reliable protections against kidney stone formation, which occurs when minerals in concentrated urine crystallize and accumulate. Kidney stones are significantly more common in people who are chronically mildly dehydrated, which describes a larger portion of older adults who tend to drink less fluid overall and whose thirst sensation becomes less reliable with age. Morning water doesn't just support the kidneys in a general sense. It gives them the specific resource they need at the specific moment they need it most to do their most important daily work. Clean system, smoother life. Digestion is another system that morning water directly and immediately affects. After hours of inactivity, the digestive system is essentially in standby mode, slower, less ready to process food than it will be once it receives the right signal. Water is that signal. Drinking 1 to 2 glasses of water first thing in the morning activates the gastrointestinal tract, stimulates a movement of the intestinal muscles that push food to the digestive system, and prepares the stomach lining for the food that's coming. For seniors dealing with constipation, which is extremely common in older adults due to reduced intestinal motility, decreased physical activity, and often inadequate fluid intake, morning water is one of the simplest and most effective interventions available. It does not replace dietary fiber or physical movement, but it works synergistically with both, and without adequate hydration, neither fiber nor movement produces its full benefit. Think of it as a warm-up for your gut. Wake your stomach before you feed it. An entire day's digestion runs more smoothly as a result. The brain may be where morning hydration produces the most immediately noticeable effects for many people, and for seniors its benefit carries particular weight. Even mild dehydration, the kind that develops over a normal night's sleep, measurably impairs cognitive function. Concentration becomes harder, reaction time slows, short-term memory becomes less reliable, The mental fogginess that many older adults experience in the early morning hours, an attribute to age or poor sleep, is frequently, at least in part, a hydration issue. The brain is so sensitive to fluid levels that a water deficit of just 1 to 2% of body weight produces detectable cognitive impairment in clinical testing. Drinking water first thing in the morning begins restoring that fluid balance before the brain is asked to do anything cognitively demanding, before decisions, before conversations, before driving, before medication management. For seniors managing the cognitive changes that come with age, eliminating a correctable variable like morning dehydration is not a small thing. Clear water, clearer thinking. That connection is not metaphorical. It is physiological. Heart health may be the benefit with the most serious implications, and the mechanism is straightforward. When blood is thicker and more viscous from overnight dehydration, the heart must exert more force to push it through the circulatory system. For a heart that is already managing age-related stiffening of the arteries, or that is working within the context of hypertension or previous cardiac events, that additional morning strain is not trivial. Studies have found that the risk of heart attack is highest in the early morning hours, and while multiple factors contribute to that window of elevated risk, the dehydration-driven increase in blood viscosity and cardiovascular strain is among them. Drinking water immediately after waking reduces blood viscosity, improves circulation, and eases the workload on the heart during those critical first hours of the day, when it is transitioning from the lower demands of sleep to the full demands of waking life. This is not a dramatic intervention. It is a simple, daily, zero-cost habit that removes an unnecessary and correctable source of cardiovascular stress. Better flow, less pressure, every single morning. The practice itself is simple enough that the guidance requires almost no explanation, but the specifics matter. 1 to 2 glasses of water, roughly 400 to 500 milliliters, immediately after waking before anything else. Room temperature water is preferable to ice cold, particularly for older adults, because very cold water can cause a mild shock to the digestive system and may be less comfortable for people with any degree of cardiovascular sensitivity. Room temperature water is absorbed more readily and causes no disruption. After drinking, wait 15 to 30 minutes before eating breakfast. This gives the water time to move through the stomach, hydrate the intestinal lining, and prepare the digestive system to receive and process food properly. This short window also gives the kidneys time to begin their morning flush before the digestive system diverts resources to processing a meal. A few things to avoid. Don't substitute coffee for water as your first morning drink. Caffeine is a mild diuretic. It prompts the kidneys to excrete more fluid, which means starting the day with coffee before rehydrating can deepen rather than resolve your overnight fluid deficit. Coffee later in the morning after water is a different situation entirely. Avoid starting with ice-cold water. As mentioned, the temperature matters more for comfort and absorption than most people realize. And avoid treating this as an occasional practice. The benefit of morning hydration is cumulative and consistent. It is a daily habit that produces daily results, not a remedy to reach for when you're feeling particularly depleted. Skipping water in the morning is like starting a car with no fuel and then wondering why it runs rough. The engine is there. The capacity is there. But without the basic resource it needs to function, everything operates at a deficit from the first moment of the day. It's the simplest habit in this entire conversation about health. No prescription, no cost, no equipment, no special knowledge required. Just water, 1 to 2 glasses room temperature, first thing in the morning, before the coffee and before the food, quietly doing more for your organs, your heart, your kidneys, your brain, and your energy than most people give it any credit for. The habits that feel too simple to matter are often the ones that accumulate into the largest difference over months and years. Water is a foundation that every other healthy habit runs on. Without it, everything else works harder and delivers less. Start tomorrow morning, not next week. Not when you remember to buy a nicer water glass. Tomorrow, set a glass of water on your nightstand tonight, so it's there before your feet hit the floor. One small change done consistently that your body will register and respond in ways you'll begin to notice sooner than you expect. Subscribe for more practical daily habits designed to protect your health as you age. Share this with a senior in your life who starts every morning with coffee and nothing else. And like the video if this reminded you that the most powerful things are sometimes the simplest ones. Your body is working hard for you every single day. The least you can do is give it a proper start.